I cover a lot of older films on the channel, and sometimes people ask me if they still make exploitation films today, and the answer is yeah, of course. Anytime an indie filmmaker promises you naked space babes in exchange for your hard-earned money, that's an exploitation film, baby. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob, and today I'm taking a look at Space Babes from Outer Space from 2017, which might make it the most modern film I've covered on the channel. Well, let's see how they do. We open on a working mom asking her dad to read her son a goodnight story. Grandpa complains and swears and generally comes across as a donkey pit, but he does give in and starts to tell a story of space babes from outer space. So I guess structurally this film is a bit like The Princess Bride, except the giant things on display here are not Andre.
Look at the size of the giant!
And then we get the opening titles. And after those opening titles, some of which are over naked sleeping space babes, which of course you can't see here, we meet our film's main villains, the scrots. And yes, they are exactly what you think they are.
Hey babes, I don't want to sound testy, but I think we might be dealing with a bigger load than we can handle this time. We got a second scrot about to join the party, and he's coming in hard and fast.
They always do seem to come in pairs.
Wow, that's a whole lot of innuendo-laden puns right there. Did the horror geek write this? We find out through a short animated sequence that these scrots are actually the evolved males of their species. How the males evolved independently of the females is not clear, but I also don't care because after the cartoon explanation, we're back with the space babes. After being chased around the galaxy by the scrots, the space babes need to refuel their ship. And the only planet close by is Earth. Unfortunately, their scanners show that Earth is home to a large population of males. Dangerous, scary things for our space babes. And down on Earth, the space babes meet Charlie, a farmer, and it seems he is in possession of the energy source they need, but they don't know how to extract it. But they do try their best. Once the farmer wakes up, he hypothesizes that the energy that the space babes need is sexual energy, so to refuel their ship, they'll need to excite as many people as possible, so he takes them to a strip club. Can't show you a whole lot of what goes on in here. Two of the babes agree to be strippers, while the third spends some time getting to know Charlie the farmer. And uh-oh, it looks like the scrots have followed the space babes to Earth, and they are hot on the space babe's tail. But first, a midnight snack. The scrots eventually make it to that strip club. Nobody notices them. The scrots think it's because they have disguises. What they don't realize is that they look pretty normal by Indiana standards. But despite fitting in, they quickly blow their cover by eating a stripper. And I know I've said this on the channel before, but wow, what amateurs. If you pay for it, you don't have to eat it. Anyway, will the space babes be able to fight off the scrots and collect enough energy to refuel their ship? That's enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. Well, this movie delivers pretty well on what you would expect from a movie called Space Babes from Outer Space. It's silly enough to make you laugh, probably more than once. Many of the jokes and visual gags land pretty well, particularly near the beginning of the film. Lots of puns and double entendres and knowing nods to the film's very low budget. And the scrots are pretty great too, not just for their voices and their silly, wonderful rubber suits, but that animated film explaining their origins was pretty entertaining as well. And beyond the humor, the film also offers a plethora of naked jiggly bits, which of course you can't see. So, you probably can't really ask for much more than that. And yet, the film gives you a bit more than that. It's also got a little heart, which was a nice way to lighten what, on paper at least, sounds like a film that will be sleazy for sleazy's sake. It's not that I would have minded if it were.
I think I'd rather just stay with you and talk a while. You make me feel smart. And I like teaching you about Earth.
You are smart, and I like learning from you. Now please tell me what a lap dance is.
But I wouldn't say the film is perfect. Like a farmer being milked for his sexual energy, this film has some shortcomings. Well, I said that many of the jokes land, and many of the jokes do land, but the ones that don't land crash hard. There's this scene with Charlie's parents that is painfully unfunny. It's difficult to sit through. It's clearly trying to rip off the family scene and Natural Born Killers. Hell, they even copied the brother having death metal makeup. But it's hard to rip off Rodney Dangerfield. He's one of the all-time greats. And this actor, with this script, didn't even come close. I also thought the grandfather character was really off-putting. His foul-mouthed complaints about being inconvenienced by having to read his grandson a bedtime story was a terrible way to start the movie. Call me crazy, but especially at the beginning of a story, I think it's important to get the audience to like the characters, not hate them. Luckily, he's not in the film very much, and when it does cut back to him telling the story to his grandson, he's a lot more sympathetic than that initial impression. Overall, it's probably best not to think about this one too much. If the title, Space Babes from Outer Space, doesn't immediately turn you off, then you'll probably like it.